In the fall of 2021, I moved into a quiet, rented townhouse in a sleepy cul-de-sac in southern Illinois, looking for peace after a breakup. The neighborhood was quiet and sterile, the kind with trimmed hedges, beige siding, and polite silence. Everything seemed perfect until I noticed the man 3 doors down, tall, heavy, scruffy-bearded, who stood outside every night, just staring without smiling or speaking. I tried to ignore him, but the way he stood still, like a statue under the streetlight, unsettled me deeply. One night, I woke up at 2:37 a.m. to a metallic scraping noise, followed by the slow creak of my backyard gate. I listened and heard footsteps crunching over the gravel just outside my bedroom's sliding glass door, and though I couldn't see anything through the blinds, I knew someone was there. I called 911, and the police arrived but found nothing unusual, brushing it off as a raccoon or nothing at all. The next morning, I discovered a stone wedged under the gate to stop it from closing completely, subtle enough to go unnoticed unless someone was looking. When I reported it again, they made another note but did nothing. 2 nights later, I heard my back door handle jiggle at 2:14 a.m., followed by a figure's shadow cast across my blinds. I stayed low, hid with a kitchen knife, and called the police again. This time they found large footprints in the gravel leading to the door, but still claimed there was no crime to act on. I installed security cameras the next day, one in front, one in back, and stayed up watching the feed. At 2:23 a.m., the back camera captured him stepping into view in a black hoodie, smiling directly at the camera before backing away into the darkness. Police saw the footage and admitted it was disturbing, but insisted again that nothing could be done. I fled to a hotel that night, and when I returned the next day, 4 muddy handprints were smeared on the glass door, too high, too low, like someone had crouched and stared inside for a long time. I left for good, broke my lease, and didn't look back. But before I drove off, I found a note in the mailbox that read, "The cops leave, but I don't." A month later, a woman named Kayla messaged me, saying she'd moved into the unit and asked if I'd ever seen someone in a black hoodie standing in the backyard at 2 a.m. I didn't reply. A year earlier, I was sent to clear out a foreclosed home in upstate New York, an isolated place surrounded by woods, as part of my job preserving abandoned properties. Inside, it smelled of mildew and dust and felt like it hadn't been touched in decades. My work phone rang despite having no signal and unknown caller, just static on the other end. In one room, I found a corkboard filled with clipped obituaries, dozens of names, all local, carefully pinned like a collection. The phone rang again, and this time a whisper came through, saying, "Don't answer the phone in the bedroom." I froze, unsure whether to run or stay. I didn't pick it up, and I forced myself to check the basement, where I found a cordless phone and a stack of dusty notebooks. Inside were lists of names, dates, and strange entries, like "rang once," "didn't answer," and "picked up," warned him over and over again. I panicked and left, reporting the house as unsafe. 2 days later, another guy from our crew named Mark went to finish the job and texted me. The phone in the bedroom rang. What the hell? He quit the next day and never came back. In 2019, I rented a small house with a basement I hated using because the light switch was halfway down the stairs. One night around 3 a.m., I heard 3 soft knocks coming from behind the basement door. I checked the next morning, found nothing, and tried to brush it off. A few days later, I heard a single loud knock, followed by slow breathing on the other side of the door. I called my landlord, who came and checked everything, no signs of a break-in or animals. Later that week, I heard the door creak open, even though I hadn't touched it, and when I looked, it stood wide open in the dark. I walked toward it with a flashlight, flicked the switch, but the bulb was dead, and then I heard footsteps climbing the basement stairs. I slammed the door and felt something press lightly against it from the other side. Police came and found nothing, and I immediately installed a padlock. A month passed with silence, until one night I returned to find the padlock broken and the basement door ajar again. I nailed it shut and pushed a chair under the handle. A few nights later, I heard something under my bed, like a low vocal vibration coming from beneath the floorboards. I didn't wait. I left that night, moved out early, and never returned. I never want to know what was in the basement. But sometimes I wonder if I had stayed just a little longer, what would have come up those stairs?